meet Carolyn Bushong. Carolyn, you're a psychotherapist and the author of Loving Him Without Losing You. Now, you counsel men who are afraid of marriage. What is going on here with these men and these women?
He is saying in his own way and in his own time, but I think she feels quite sure his own time is never going to come. And it isn't. Not if things keep staying the way they are. The thing you're not doing is talking about why you're hesitant, what your fears are. I mean, just a few things that you've said. I think you have a lot of fears about that the relationship will change, that she will try to control you more than she does now. There's probably a whole pile of other things that you're very, very afraid of, but you're not talking about them. Not to us, not to her. You're not talking about them. And as long as you don't talk about them, that time will never come. And this one...
Oh, wait, before we get to this one, I want to go back to Jeff and Tony, because you were shaking your head when Carolyn was saying that you don't want Tony to control you more than you were shaking your head. Do you feel she's controlling you in the relationship or trying to?
Her and a lot of other people, because it's funny, because we just came out of the holiday season, and everybody comes up and goes, you know, they sit there and they smile, and actually it'd be really funny if you had a phone that I could tap into and I could play one of her friend's phone messages. She wanted me to propose to her on this show. And that's what I mean.
And tried to pressure you into it.
Yeah, not pressure, but it's all subtle, but everybody's talking about it, and they're like, even the boys, you still go out, try to have some fun. It's like, so you're still holding out, aren't you? You're still holding out.
You haven't done it yet. You haven't asked her.
You haven't done it?
Well, but Carolyn, what about the fact that Tony's gone out and bought a wedding dress?
Well, I think that was I think that was the wrong thing to do. I think that really does put pressure. I think what that probably did is intensify his fear 10 times. I think buying the ring did the same thing. It sends a message that this is what's most important to me, is getting married. And I think he's assuming it's so that you can control him, so that you can have the control about what he does, where he goes. I mean, is that the kind of control you're talking about?
That's part of it.
Yeah. What's the other kind? What happened at Christmas? What's going on with the...
Well, the Christmas was just a lot of other family members and people like that. She doesn't do a lot of it overtly. And I think you're right. That goes back to the communication, is we both just kind of... We talk on the surface, and we did it even, there was a lot of pressure just coming on the show, sitting there kind of looking at each other on the plane coming up here. And things like that.
The fact that she's never told you to your face she's madly in love with you, but she told you here on the show. Am I right to assume that you were afraid to do that because you were afraid how he'd react to knowing you feel so deeply about him? He'd be threatened?
Well, I think Jeff and I, since we've known each other for the 3 years, when we first met, as he said, came out of a relationship where they both wanted to get married, and it scared us to death. And we're extremely independent and career-directed individuals, so as we progressed through our relationship, my ideas kind of started to change as I started to get older and reevaluate what I wanted. And at this point in time, it's not really a commitment that I want, because a commitment I have. It's the marriage, the ritual, the passage, and the union of two people, and starting a family is where I want to head. I don't think that Jeff's going to leave me tomorrow. But I'd like some feedback and to find out why and when, if you're thinking about it this year.
But you're not communicating. You haven't, I think, at the show. You're starting to, but you haven't been communicating with him either. And the two of you, if you want to solve these kinds of things, what you have to do is things you're afraid of, like the Christmas scene and how people are going to pressure you and everything. The two of you need to be talking about this and bonding together and saying, hey, when we get there for Christmas, here's how we're going to handle it, here's what we're going to do, and then the two of you do it, and then these other people can't do this to you.
You have to show a united front.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Carolyn, I challenge you to tell me about Paul.